Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from
Goodreads,
and welcome to a new video. So our new reading project for this year is to read Sebastian de Castell's Greatcoat series, and we did that with book number 1 called Traitor's Blade. Anyway, so in this book we follow, I guess this is Falchio. So Falchio, Bresti and Cast. They were part of the Greatcoats, which are like the musketeers. And the king that they worked for died. So now they are forced to work as bodyguards or...
they're dishonored because their king is killed.
Yes.
By the
So
dukes.
basically their job was to be magistrates, to go around the country and to, pass judgment on different issues. And, people listen to them. They were supposed to listen to them, at least. But with the king, there are also many dukes who have their own... dukedoms, I guess, and they are powerful in their own dukedoms, and if they didn't want to do something, they basically didn't. And at one point the dukes rebelled and killed the king, and now the Greatcoats are are called traitors, and they're just trying to do something to finish a mission that the king gave them, and so on and so on and so on.
And in the meantime, they're hired by this lady.
The actual plot of the
actual plot, yes. They're hired by a lady to take her to like this town, Riju, that's the name of the town, where she kind of wants to claim something from the Duke, and they become her bodyguards, and stuff kind of happens from there. Yeah.
Alright, so did you like this book?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because we're reading all of them, so
yeah.
It would be really bad if you didn't.
Okay, I'll start with the fact, I think both of us read it on audio? No.
Yes.
You did it too.
Yeah,
okay,
both times I read on audio.
First off, I think that was a miss for me, as I told you already, because the narrator is Joe Jameson, who is wonderful. This is not a minus for him. It's just, I finished reading maybe 2 months ago, the Spellslinger series, also by de Castell, which is also narrated by Joe Jameson, and I just felt like this was a grown-up version of the character from that YA series, and that bugged me a lot, because just like the main character, Falchio, because he sounds literally like Kellen from the Spellslinger series, and that irked me. But I got used to it at some point, because I really like Jameson as a narrator. I think he just makes a lot of awesome nuances to his voice, and you really get the difference in characters for both male, female, so I actually loved the audiobook. Just at the beginning it was like, yes, Joe Jameson, and then it was like, oh my god, this sounds like
Kellen being a musketeer.
Yes, basically yes. So yeah, but I really love that. But because of that, that initial feeling, I felt it was a bit YA at the beginning, although it's not. But just because of the connection I made between the two, just it influenced a bit my reading.
Well, I didn't read the Spellslinger ones on audio. I tried the second one, but I didn't like the Western genre that they went with for this story, and that's not how I pictured it in my head, so I didn't read it, so I wasn't really familiar with Joe's work before, and I really enjoyed the audio, because part of the magistrate's job is to learn the laws and tell the people of their country the laws, and the way to do that is through song. So there is a bunch of songs here, that Falchio and his friends sing with the laws, which was such a fun thing to hear. I was like, why is he singing? And then when the first time I listened and read in the book, and I was like, oh, I get it now. Now this is
that was really fun.
That was really fun part. I mean, the whole world building of this world was really interesting. Definitely the history of the Greatcoats and their jobs and what they're supposed to do, and also throughout the story there is a mix of the present and the past. Well, we find out who Falchio is, where he came from, how he became a Greatcoat, and what's happened that put him in the position that he is in the beginning of the story. That was really, really well done, and I really enjoyed that part. But the overall story is overall book is very fast paced, and there's so many adventures. I know you said that sometimes it seemed a bit much, because after they're hired to in the beginning of the book, the boys are hired to be bodyguards to this man who gets murdered, and they get set up for their murder, which leads them to be employed by this woman to go to this city. And in this city, Falky, of course, being very noble and following these ideals of the Greatcoats, finds himself protecting a little girl in this city during the week in which everybody can kill anybody with no consequences, like basically the purge, right? Yes. So in this city, just things go wrong the entire time. But I liked how Falkio dealt with everything with a bit of humor and honor, and just basically sticking to his ideals. And they're all basically the first rule of sword fight, you know, is sticking with the pointy end, of course, you know. And it was just, there's humor, and just, I loved how from the beginning you are sucked into their mission, and you're sucked in their philosophy, and you can
oh my god.
Tanja, proistovjetiti se. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Oh my gosh, this is very bad.
Možeš se proisvetiti s njihovom filozofijom.
Come on! We're not doing great right now. We're all actually
translators and an English teacher here.
Like basically English majors, but this is like going really.
We have a translator, they're googling it now.
Oh my god. This is so bad.
Identify.
Oh my god. Relate.
Alright, so you can relate and identify with their philosophy and actions. And it definitely sucked me in. This is the second time reading it, and it was like, it sucked me in. I was like, okay, I'm here for you. I'm totally rooting for you to do what you have to do to whatever you're doing. Yeah. And it was such a, like a popcorn fantasy story, but with hidden depths, and I just really enjoyed it.
I loved how they like one of their philosophies, like I like how they flipped around the fact, like, the fight is the last thing you do. Like, I think it's like the first or second one is like run. Run. Yeah. That, like, I remember that part when he was like teaching somebody, like, no, you run. Like, you don't fight, you run, you idiot. And like, it was just such a joy to read this book. Like, literally, like, I felt the same with Spellslinger. It calmed me down. It was so interesting. You're pulled into the world, and what Maya mentioned about both having two perspectives from the past and the present. I felt like the past parts were such a perfect complement to the present, because when you start, at first I was like so annoyed at Falkio because he had this high moral ground, this big ideals and everything, and he was almost like at points a martyr, oh my gosh. And as you go through the book and actually hear what he has gone through to, as you said, reach this point, you get so much more understanding of his character and why he does what he does and where all of this comes from. And like you said, you just get sucked in. And it is a story mostly about Falkio, but Brasti is also, he's like the quirky, always bantering, throwing, like, being very humorous, and Kest is like this more... The warrior, the stoic one, you know, he at one point there's like this one scene where he's like, his, you know, he accepts his destiny.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? You know, and they're such different characters, but work so well as a team. And that was really fun. And I'm actually really looking forward to seeing where this is gonna go, given how it ended.
Yes.
With, like, additions and stuff.
Yes. I think that our other reviews are going to be spoilers, because you can't really talk around the stuff that's happening in the story. Because the story ended not in a cliffhanger, but with a very a big revelation, and it's definitely going to impact the rest of the story.
Yes, definitely. So
yeah, so we enjoyed it. We're looking forward to the next ones. It's going to be really fun.
Yes.
Well, if you have read, forgot the name of the book, Traitor's Blade, please do share your thoughts down below in the comments.
Please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos. There are important links about world issues down below.
And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.